Integrate your inner child to become strong. Part 2b. How do empaths heal themselves? So, before I go into detail on this, you've already figured out that the way the empath can heal is to reverse the 4 protection mechanisms that helped them survive as a child. The reintegration of the inner child plays a vital role in this. So, those 4 defense mechanisms change when you grow up in your poison, and they sabotage your life. So, to heal, you really have to reverse each of those 4. And I'm going to go into detail on how to do that in a moment, but I want to leave a warning here because when we get to the healing part, many empaths are terrified, okay? Now let's look at some efficient, actionable advice on how to start reversing the last defense mechanism. Heart mantras are helping you to open your heart. I like to work with mantras. Heart mantras, for example, just teach you how to speak to your heart and really say, %U201 sim ready to open my heart. %U201d %U201 k please show me how. %U201d really talk to your heart. Your heart is so wise and beautiful. It is, in my opinion, the most influential center in your body. Other spiritual teachers think that the power all the way here is in the third eye and the crown chakra and all that. Everyone wants to get up here. Meanwhile, I genuinely believe that the heart center is the most potent energy point in the body. To learn how to communicate with your heart, ask it to show you how. %U201 How am I going to open %U201d Ask your heart, %U201 What do you want me to do to help you open %U201d Start having these conversations with your heart, okay? Another exercise I like to use is the Heartlight exercise, and this was an exercise I learned from the Institute of Heart Math, so you'll want to look them up. Search Heartlight meditation, and you will find a few videos. It's a great meditation that helps you visualize a light, and this light will open. It is a great exercise to open your heart. Another thing to open the heart is to train compassion. They are actually guided meditations and guided exercises. They are visualization exercises. They help you work on compassion. When you work on understanding, you automatically open the heart because that is the portal of compassion. The more compassion you can feel for yourself and for others, the more your heart opens. So, these are just some heart things you can do to open your heart. The more you open your heart, here's what's going to happen. When you open your heart, remember that I spoke of this, your connection to the emotional body of your aura opens. Here's the aura again, just to remind you that the link to your emotional body in your atmosphere will restore itself. This means you're going to feel it, a lot, in fact. And in the beginning, when you start to open your heart, the feelings are not great because this could be the excess energy from your traumatic childhood that is still circulating in your aura. Because what do you think? Energy does not disappear. It cannot be destroyed. So, when you reconnect with your emotional body in your auric field, that emotional body can initially convey many emotions that need to be processed, such as anger, sadness, and fear, okay? And you have to be really brave to just stay open and let those emotions work into your heart. Again, you will not die. Your soul knows what it's doing, okay? So, just let it do this job, okay? The latter is how you help reverse mental dissociation. The mental dissociation part, the way you turn this around, is you really do a lot of inner child work, okay? The goal is for you to get that inner child from the depths of your psyche. That inner child must unite. Your mind must connect and merge. So, you have to go find that inner child and raise her again. I do many inner children's work. You can do this alone or with someone else. Still, if you look up inner children's meditations, you're going to see some inner children's meditations. Listen to those meditations. Do that work yourself. And actually, I don't want to leave you here because many people get this. They come to me, and they say, Percent you 201 me inner child, I have done my inner child meditations. Percent you 201d. She still won't talk to me. The inner child does not want to integrate. Because when you start doing these inner child meditations, you will notice whether the child wants to unite or not. If the inner child runs away or, for example, she comes to you, you will do well if you do these meditations. And so people will say to me that they have done 10 meditations and that my inner child does not want to unite. And the reason this happens is that you need to do something meaningful before. Here is a professional tip for you to do this job. The inner child dissociated because she doesn't trust adults, doesn't she? The inner child felt unsafe because of what had happened to her in her childhood. She dissociated because she felt unsafe and unheard of. So for that inner child to come back, she has to trust the adult, you. Guess what? If you're still an emotionally immature mess, do you think your inner child will trust you? Not really. The inner child will not trust you. So, before you do these inner child meditations and try to unite your inner child, my biggest recommendation and biggest pro tip here is that you should work on becoming a whole adult, an emotional adult. And if that means talking to yourself and saying, now, I'm open. I am open to growing up, open to integration. Also, I am open to healing, available to become this mature spiritual master. The more you do this work, the more the inner child feels that maturity in you. She will trust you more and more because eventually if you're going to get that inner child to unite her, you can go get her. You have to make her feel safe. That she is heard. And she only gets that from a grown adult who is healing, okay? If you come to her, the inner child will notice you from a mile away like a hot mess. Don't go to your inner child as a hot mess. The inner child will not unite. She won't trust you, okay? So, start with some other healing work before doing the inner child healing because that will make it a lot easier. So, that's a bit professional tip for you. But once you have done this, start doing meditations with your inner child. Inner child meditations, bringing the inner child to you and listening to what she has to say. You can relive some of the memories she has that she wants to share with you. Write them down, make a journal, and eventually, you will feel the inner child reunite with you. It's a beautiful feeling. You know when you are there. You know when your inner child is reunited, and moreover, you know when the inner child is whole. And the moment that happens, from then on, you have to promise that part of you that you, the adult, is going to take over the show. So that the inner child doesn't have to make decisions for you anymore because you're the adult now, okay? You have to reassure the inner child of this, but that is integration work, and I know you will get there. Now I want to hear from you here. Which of these tips that I gave you, which of these tips will you apply from today? Let me know in the comments below, and if you have a question for me to answer, leave them in the comments. Don't forget to like our video.